Namaste. Diwali is around the corner, which means sweets and treats everywhere. Today we are going to learn to make the simplest sweet for which you don't need to be a rocket scientist, and it's made with supermarket ingredients. Just one packet of coconut flakes, one whole can of condensed milk, some cardamom, and a couple of tablespoons of ghee. The only thing you have to remember is that the coconut flakes and the condensed milk have to be exactly the same weight. That's all you need to know, because they have to be added in equal quantities. Along with this, we're also going to need some crushed cardamom, or you can use cardamom powder, and we will need a couple of tablespoons of ghee as required. Let's get this process started. Take a non-stick pan. Yes, you do need a non-stick pan for this, and combine the condensed milk and the coconut flakes into the pan. Keep on stirring at regular intervals. The heat is set to medium-low. Keep stirring this till it comes together. So first it will be a little bit resistant, after which it becomes nice and flowy and fluid. And then finally it combines into a fudge-like consistency. After about 3 to 4 minutes, it starts to combine and come together. At this point, you can add the cardamom and continue with the process of stirring it and mashing it down, mixing it well with the back of your spatula. I'm using a silicone spatula because I think that it gives me best results with a non-stick pan. I also try to keep different spatulas for my sweets and savories because, of course, I don't want my sweets to smell of curry. But most people that use silicone spatulas say that the smell does not transfer to sweet things, but I still like to keep them separate. Anyway, so this is about 3 to 4 minutes into the process, and you can see that it starts to come together. Also, keep scraping the sides of the pan so that all the creamy stuff that is getting deposited on the side of the pan does not caramelize, and you can actually just mix it right back into this fudge that you are trying to create. The name of the dessert is Coconut Barfi, but you can also make it like balls and call them coconut Ladoos. The process is exactly the same when you're trying to cook it. So see how it starts to change color a little bit? It's become a slight beige sort of a color, and you can see that the sides of the pan are no longer scrapable and the mixture gets tougher and tougher, but it does eventually come into the shape of a ball or dough that you can bind together with the back of your spatula. Be very careful. This mixture is extremely hot. Now this is about 7 minutes later and it's ready to get plated. We have to shape this. If you were making ladoos or balls, you would allow it to cool for just a few seconds till it's warm enough to handle. And then you would grease your palm and make little golf-sized balls, which would be called ladoos. In this case, I'm going to make barfis or squares, and for that I will use a brownie pan. So I'm just scraping everything. I've emptied the contents of the pan into a dish, and I've added a little bit of ghee. You can also use coconut oil. Here is a brownie pan that I've taken and I've greased it. I've lined it with parchment paper and I'm transferring the contents. What? See what happens? I just broke my spatula. All right, well, I have another one for my sweets, but I think I'm going to start using a wooden one now. So anyway, stuff happens all the time. It's called life. So yes, after the broken spatula situation, we have graduated to the wooden spatula. You can also do it with your hands, but be very careful because this mixture is super duper hot. And you have to spread it when it's hot. Don't wait for it to cool because then it becomes tight and tough and very hard to spread. So the warmer it is, the more spreadable it is. Just press it down gently into the edges and make sure that it's an even thickness and an even height across the corners of the brownie pan. And then if you need to add some ghee to increase the flow of the spatula against the surface of the fudge, you can do that. If you feel like you don't need it, you can totally skip it and just brush it down, pat it down with your hands or with the back of your spatula. Also, I'm adding a little bit of ghee because I want to put the nuts and I want to put some coconut powder for final garnish. So I'm going to take some coconut powder. This is unsweetened, and I've added some food coloring, which is yellow. You can use any color of your choice, but I feel like the yellow really gives it that festive pop. You can also use gold foil, edible gold foil for your sweets. It looks really nice. So yes, so I'm gonna add a couple of drops of ghee and just a little bit of, just a spritz of water to activate the color and get it going, and to color all the coconut flakes with the beautiful, brilliant yellow color. So perfect for Diwali. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle it on top